morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Daybreak Extra right here on Trust TV. We're live in the nation's capital and we're super psyched to be here as usual. My name is Dashan Hussaina Usman. Happy weekend, happy Saturday. Yes. Do I need to introduce you?
No, you really don't. I can actually do that myself. Well, excitement is the watchword right here on Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. And we're right here trying to bring you the most excitement that we can because it's the weekend. And of course, it's time for you to unwind and relax after a very arduous week.
Yeah.
It has been hectic.
Yeah, it has.
Yes.
You know, I actually felt it this morning when I woke up.
Exactly.
I was actually, energized. I felt energized because I had to sleep very early, but then I still feel drained, and I mean physically, mentally, emotionally. Every-nally. Do you get?
Exactly.
Every-nally.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's just all over the place. Well, it's great to welcome the weekend and of course an opportunity to just relax.
Definitely. And we hope that is exactly what you're doing even as you're watching us today. Today is going to be a very simple day, very easy peasy, program.
Something light.
Something light indeed. And we're simply talking entertainment, fashion. Yeah?
Yeah, just on the light
entertainment,
side.
fashion, that's just it.
Less politics.
Yeah, that's just it. All right, so we'll also be taking a look at the papers, before our guests come in today. Do not forget, it is still Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll move on to the show proper. Stay tuned.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
The idea was to give the interim government confidence that there is somebody, a military man, who is well known, who can be accepted.
You alluded to the case of your son, Umar Farouk. Are you in touch with him?
Yes, he phones us 2 times, sometimes 3 times in a month.
As always, when I'm talking about late Abiola, I still thank my God for directing me on things to do when he gave me that leadership of this country.
Many of you honest Fulanis, you allow this man to cast aspersion on you.
Zamfara is the mother of all bandits.
The biggest problem, if you permit me, is the fact that we have not been able to get the totality of our citizenry.
It's very, very difficult to have a fixed mind like that this one you will hand over to this person because you think he will do better.
I don't see myself under no circumstance ever leaving APC for another political party.
Now, here on the Mambila Plateau. And this is where the hydroelectric power dam is supposed to be constructed.
Most people in Nigeria are ignorant of the fact that employing a child as a maid is in fact against the law.
Access to the textile mill has been very difficult.
I believe or I think that if you want to make money, it should be in a place where there are not plenty of people that can do what you do.
From the way things are happening now, I don't think the two parties will make any impact.
I've been talking about the updates concerning the campaign of Nigerian Super Eagles in Abuja.
Bola Tinubu has informed President Muhammadu Buhari of his ambition to contest for the position of president.
To be self-reliant, a blind man defies all odds to become a carpenter in Gombe State.
The country is now experiencing a 4th wave of the COVID-19 pandemic with the emergence of the Omicron variant.
Talks are ongoing between NRC management and the union.
Okay, welcome back. If you're just tuned in, you're watching Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. So just before we move, into the newspaper review for today, something actually happened over the week where, you know how you have really, really rude security men, security men that help open the door and everything, security guards, yes, but there's this particular eatery in Nigeria where, I think for some reason they had two at a time, and they seemed really, really happy in that time. I don't know, probably they hit the lottery or something, or they won a jackpot, or they were just, they just felt like exuding their happiness, to customers coming into that particular eatery. And, they danced, while they opened doors, while the customers were, sitting and eating and enjoying, open doors, just entertaining them and everything. And, in the end, someone was actually recording and the video actually went viral.
Exactly.
Yeah, the video went viral and they got sacked. So now, this is an opportunity because whether I like it or not, the internet actually presents people with an opportunity every once in a while. Like they say, it is turn by turn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you have the internet community, hovering around them, clamoring for the support and everything. The fact that they were actually sacked, didn't mean they gave up. Do you know they actually went back to that eatery and they kept dancing, but outside and without their uniforms?
Yes,
they kept dancing outside and everything. And they were asked, and they're just happy people. They just wanted people to. There's a lot going on in Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about the fuel scarcity. Talk about the light issue. Talk about heat.
A lot of things.
Talk about no money. Just a whole lot of things.
So you need to decompress.
Yesterday was even a more hectic day because there was no network for you to even do transfers. From your bank apps and everything, and then there was no network as well on your phones. Making calls was an issue. So, Nigerians are frustrated. So what they wanted to do was, alleviate a little bit of their suffering, share some love, make them happy and all that. And that is the reason why, they kept dancing and all that. And now they've actually, caught the attention of a lot of, let me just call them big wigs, out there talking about in the entertainment industry, talking about people like Kate Henshaw and the rest, and, I think they will be supported one way or the other, which is a good thing.
Yeah, they could be. It's actually it's something we try to do as much as possible. We work throughout the week, and you have to decompress every once in a while. Just relax a little bit, even as you are working, because it's really hectic. Just like you pointed out, there are lots of things going on, lots of things that are going to drive you crazy, literally drive you crazy. So you need an outlet. You need something that you can actually relax with. So I think that was the opportunity. They used that to actually share some love, have fun in their own right, and then and spread the love to the people. Well, unfortunately, I saw a response. I saw a statement released by that eatery saying that they were not the ones that actually sacked those guys.
So who sacked them?
They said they actually outsourced their security.
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
so it was the outsourcing firm that actually sacked them, and they were sacked because they were not supposed to be dancing at that time. They were supposed to be
serious,
exactly. They were supposed to be securing the area, and at that particular point in time, they were not doing that primary assignment, and that was why they got the boot. Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever the case is, I hope everything works out well for them.
Exactly.
I believe it's actually their turn right now, so they should learn to
because
use
for somebody
it
to lose his job right now in this economy,
it's not easy. It's not funny. It's not easy.
Definitely not.
All right, we'll be back after this short breather for the newspaper review.
But in a situation where you find that a person look like the same,
not necessarily tribal or regional.
But I have said that.
It is Daybreak Extra on Trust TV, and we're going straight into the newspaper review. Well, I have with me here a copy of Daily Trust, and that is what we're kicking off with. The major headline on the front page of the Daily Trust says, "It's surprising I became a bandit." and that is attributed to Turji, the most notorious bandit right now that we have. Yes, that story is on page 8 of the Daily Trust. It is going to make a very, very interesting read. And writers here, they say he recounts family's own fight for justice, and he says bandits have no link with Boko Haram, other groups, and how my little son was slaughtered in front of me. That is from a victim, and stakeholders chart ways out. That is a story on the front page of Daily Trust this morning. And at the top of the page, you'll have a story here. Buhari shifts London medical trip to Sunday. That is on page 7 of Daily Trust. Sergeant guns down 6 colleagues in Borno, on page 10 of the Daily Trust. And talking about fuel scarcity, everybody's talking about it, and Daily Trust is not left out. Amidst fuel scarcity, Nigerians decry widespread power outage, and that's something to add to the list. And that story is also on pages 5 and 6 of Daily Trust. And if we look at the entertainment section, it says how politics is tearing Kannywood apart. Well, if you want to find out what politics we're talking about and how it affects Kannywood, that is on page 13 of Daily Trust. And Ukraine, federal government evacuates 779 stranded Nigerians. Well, we got reports of Nigerians coming back from the Ukraine. Flights touched down yesterday, day before yesterday. And, well, I think there's still others expected. So that story is on page 4 of the Daily Trust. And the news feature is Inside Eerie Daring Experiences of Mortuary Attendants. All right. Daring experiences of mortuary attendants, that's on page 28. If you want to find out how eerie those experiences are, well, you pick up the Daily Trust newspaper for this morning.
I would want to read that.
Really? You want to find out?
I've heard a lot of stories, but I would actually want to read that for myself.
Have you ever been in a mortuary?
No.
Well, if you want to find out how it is, it's on page 28 of Daily Trust newspaper this Saturday.
Okay, so let's move on to yet another newspaper talking about Punch Saturday. Yes, a Saturday Punch here. We have the lead story that says how we escaped intense bombings, death in Ukraine, Russia war, says Nigerians. And the writers here say over 700 returnees flown to Abuja, 150 students trapped in war zone. We saw hell. Officials threatened to shoot us for opposing racism, says students. And just below that story, we have policing dangerous male cops need prayer warriors as wives, says retired AIG in Mohimi. And we also have viral voice notes revealed missing BRT passenger struggled with her abductors, says brother. This is really, really sad one. And police are to launch a manhunt for driver and arrest guarantor. Really, really sad one indeed. All right, we also have Nigeria may not unite again if it breaks up, says Ezefie. And you can find details of that story on page 7. Youths protest in Imo, demand end to killings and kidnappings on page 9. And on the footnote there, we have measles ravaging Osun, Enugu, Katsina, 5 other states, says NCDC. And here is a picture of Mercy Aigbe and her new husband. And the story here says, stop attacking me for being second wife, Mercy Aigbe tells critics. If you go to the top of Saturday Punch, you'd see a beg Kwankwaso not to leave Kano PDP chair, tells Saraki. PDP chair tells Saraki. And then we have Buhari hasn't cancelled UK medical trip, jets out Sunday, says presidency. Restructure Nigeria before 2023 polls, PFN tells Buhari. And then just beside the nameplate, we have panic in Ogun community over planned demolition of 800 buildings. These are some of the stories on the front page of Saturday Punch.
Next, we'll look at the Blueprint Weekend, which carries the major headline on the front page that how Electoral Act will be a game changer in 2023. Well, and it says aspirants speed up consultations. It's hope for PDP aspirants, says Mohammed. And it's searchlight on political parties, a win-win for APC, Okechukwu, others. And another writer that says not about individual ambition, but credible process. That story is on page 5 of the Blueprint. If you look at the top of the nameplate, FG assists Ukraine returnees with $100 each. That is quite a handsome sum.
Yeah, that's 48,000 naira.
Well, that's not bad, is it?
$100 is... But I heard it was 48,000 naira. Some reports say that. But if it's $100, then it's approximately 500 and something.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, 50-something thousand.
So that's about 50 grand.
Yes.
Well, that's
slightly above 50
not too shabby. And well, Buhari, artificial scarcity and man's inhumanity to man. That is another front page headline on the front page of Blueprint Weekend. But the story is actually found on page 2. And a couple of stories here on Blueprint. Buhari's trip to London stands as presidency. Birnin-Gwari, 5 killed. Petrol tanker burnt as bandits attack motorists. And then another story here that says terrorism financing. BCD operators not in our custody, says the DSS. I'll continue to defend our citizens' interests worldwide, says Buhari. That's on page 4. And OBJ set pace for democratic transfer of power reforms in Nigeria, Africa. That is attributed to Atiku. That story is on page 9 of the Blueprint. And when you look at the entertainment section, I don't want to fall in love again. I want a trouble-free life, says Aisha Humaira. Well, if you want to find out why she believes love is trouble and not falling in love again is a trouble-free life, pick up the Blueprint Weekend and check out that story.
All right, so moving on to The Guardian on Saturday. And the lead story here says, Constitution Amendment, why gender bills failed. Buhari is against affirmative action, says Wike. Men had a mindset, Olujimi reveals. Majority of lawmakers didn't study rejected bills. Ifendo alleges NAS still has room to redress wrong, Akiode Afolabi say. And you can find details of that story on page 2. And we have a pictorial of returning Nigerians from the Ukraine and returnees, yes, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport undergoing a COVID-19 test before being released to their families. All right, beside that, you have on page 4, Sanwo-Olu Ohaneze eulogized Obasanjo at 85. We also have trapped Nigerians arrived from Ukraine. Terrorists opened fire on motorists in Kaduna, kill 5. And on Guardian Music, we have Tome preaches love over vanity. At the footnote there, APC chairmanship aspirants swell hostility against Adamu's adoption, and details of that can be found on page 7. And at the top there, you have Larry Williams. That's Moviedom, Larry Williams, light out on consummate dramatists. And then we also have sad tales of, that's for Saturday special, sad tales of rivers communities devastated by oil exploitation. And for Guardian Woman, we actually have Foluke Oyeleye. As a woman, you'll succeed when you lean on knowledge, experiences of others. These are some of the stories from Guardian on Saturday.
Next, we move on to The Nation newspaper, which carries the major headline, APC chairmanship, aspirants adamant, governors push for open race. And the riders here that says Buhari to meet aspirants after medical trip and why caretaker committee is yet to sell forms. The story is on page 4 of The Nation. On top of the nameplate is a story here that says Ukraine, evacuated Nigerians arrive Abuja, recount ordeal. Riders underneath that will continue to devote resources for safety of Nigerians, says Buhari. Soyinka, 167 other Nobel laureates condemn invasion, and UN Rights Council approved probe of Russia. All these are stories on the front page of The Nation newspaper. On the bottom of the page, you'll find a story here, Baba Ijesha to court. Defilement video was rehearsal, not real. Well, if you want to find that out, it's on The Nation newspaper. Murder of OAU student, Osun CJ reserves ruling on bail for Adedoyin and 6 others. Another story here says, constitutional amendment, why bills for women failed, says the reps. And a disturbing story here on the front page of The Nation says, I slept with my son to give my husband a child, says a housewife. Well, you can find details of that story on the front page of The Nation. And if you go to entertainment, it says here, Stella Damasus playing prostitute, my most challenging role. Well, these are the stories on the front page of The Nation newspaper this Saturday morning.
All right, with that, we'll go on a quick break. And when we come back, we'll, have a few discussions on, some of the stories that made it to the front page of the papers today. Okay, welcome back. Now reviewing the papers, we'll start with Daily Trust, a newspaper. And, talking about the lead story here, Turji, yes, Bello Turji here saying it's surprising that he became a bandit, and he recounts, his family's own fight for justice. I remember when the Daily Trust dialogue actually, happened, and someone gave a recount of how banditry started. And, he talked about how it was due to the injustices that some of these people actually faced that, made them turn against, the government of the day and all that. And now we have Turji saying, he's actually surprised that he became a bandit. One would actually say it will take a conscious effort for one to, take up arms and fight, to defend themselves, or even fight against, any other person.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, like, no matter what it is you've gone through, whatever it is you've been through, or what you think you're fighting for or fighting against, is it really an excuse? There's really no reason for you. What if you're saying you're okay, fine, it's because of injustice and this and that. So all these people that you're currently killing right now, are those the ones who actually who meted out the injustice to you? That is not the case. So there's really nothing to justify such acts. Yes, you've been through a lot. A lot of people have been through a lot. And if everybody says he's going to take up arms because of what he's been through, then everybody is going to end up killing everybody. You understand? So yes, there's a backstory to everything. There's a reason why everything started, but still, just like you mentioned, it takes a conscious effort to say, okay, I'm going to sit down right now and decide for myself that I'm going to pick up arms and start killing people.
Okay, now let's move on to the cover story on Daily Trust newspaper, talking about, fuel scarcity. Amidst this fuel scarcity, and, Nigerians decrying widespread power
outages everywhere. Exactly.
It's actually not been funny.
Exactly.
With the heat and everything, it's not been funny at all.
Yes, you have to deal with that. You go out in the early morning, you queue for petrol till late at night. You probably don't get it. Then you come back home to try and relax, and there's no power. You understand? And you can imagine in this particular heat that we're experiencing right now, and there's no power. So it's all these are a combination of factors that actually make things really, really difficult for Nigerians at this particular point in time. We'll just hope things ease as soon as possible, most especially fuel scarcity, because it has lingered. We actually thought it wasn't going to last this long, but here we are.
Okay. All right, now we have, those in charge saying discos are to blame for low power generation. Power consumer groups flays discos and seek compensation. We also have the Minister of Power saying that they're resolving gas and low water issues in order to boost generation, which is actually a good thing. And yes, everyone is saying it's low generation that's the cause of this particular outage. And, but then, everything is just going from bad to worse. We hope something is done about it, very, very quickly, because I can actually say yesterday, the light situation was actually better. It was kind of better.
In some areas.
Yes, in some areas. All right, so moving on, talking about Ukraine, and the federal government evacuating 779 stranded Nigerians. In some cases, you have, some Nigerians saying that, they're happy to be, or they're experiencing a bittersweet moment, being back home. And then you have some Nigerians saying, whatever the case is, they're never coming back to Nigeria. They'd rather stay in the war-torn country than come back to Nigeria.
Yeah, because, earlier when the first plan was made to actually evacuate Nigerians and it was postponed, most of the main reason that was given was that a lot of people did not want to come forward because they didn't want to come back. So that's one of the reasons that were actually given at that particular point in time. So, well, whatever your reasons for going there are, the relative safety and security of being here, it's better than whatever it is you're going to stay and face there. But if you ask me, I think this evacuation and everything else, it's coming a little bit too late. yes, it has happened, but the time for this was quite a while ago, you know, because everybody heard the drums of war being beaten at that particular point in time. We felt the temperature was rising, and that's when arrangements like this should have been made for those who wanted to escape. You know, they didn't have to go through what they went through. People talking about racism out there, going to the border, being denied entry into Poland, being maltreated and mistreated because of the color of their skin, and all this. So all this could have been avoided if measures were actually taken earlier than they were. But it's a good thing that the measures have been taken now, and the ones that wanted to come back are actually either here or on their way.
And then some students, you know, what I was actually thinking is that, you know, for people who have been in Ukraine, for Nigerians who have been in Ukraine for quite a while, who have, you know, made something for themselves there, they have a life, they have family there, it will be difficult for them to actually want to leave and come back to Nigeria. But it was easier for students, you know, because they've actually been there for a few years or even some months to actually come back, and being that they still have, you know, visas, they can go back at any time. But you also have Nigerians that are living illegally in the Ukraine, and those Nigerians who will not want to leave would want to stay there.
Definitely they will.
And you have the envoy saying students stayed back at their own risks, meaning some students decided to stay back. Despite, you know, the war going on there.
Yes, well, for students, I think it's understandable for them to be the ones on the forefront of trying to come back. You understand, because they know they can always go back. And being a student, you know your stay there is actually temporary. But just like you've mentioned, there are lots of people that have actually migrated to, you know, to Ukraine and settled there and made lives for themselves. I mean, like they have property, they have businesses, they have the jobs, they have families and whatnot. And definitely you will find people like this will be a bit skeptical about coming back, because they don't know when they're going to be able to go back there and try to rebuild their lives, or what they're going to meet there. And for those living illegally, I mean, like, fine, that says it all. They're actually there illegally. They probably had to go there through, they have to go through a lot of treacherous terrain before they actually got there. So they don't want to come back and then start the process all over again, you know? So those are the different classes of people actually moving back from Ukraine. Well, whatever the case is, we just hope that the crisis actually ends as soon as possible, so that life for these people can be going back to normal.
All right, now there's this story about a sergeant who actually gunned down 6 of his colleagues at Brno, you know, police headquarters. It's really, really a sad one. I remember seeing a story, similar story, you know, a few months ago, and it happened in India, where, you know, a sergeant actually gunned down his colleagues, I think 4 of them, and this has actually happened again in Brno State. I don't know, what could have been so bad for you to want to, you know, gun them down?
Well, you know, I mean, maybe this is the right time for us to bring back a mental health expert to actually dissect this, to find out exactly where this person's head was at that time. There is a backstory to everything, definitely.
Yes.
There is.
Well, a family source actually said the sergeant had a misunderstanding with his wife, and neighbors tried to intervene, but he didn't listen. So he and his wife had been having some issues for a time now, and they tried to settle it amicably, but he refused. So the wife told the parents that, you know, the sergeant assaulted her, and she moved her things out of the house, and she left due to severe maltreatment by her husband. So, you know, I don't know, I think
well maybe
family issues, and then transfer of aggression.
Yes, well, since it seems like it has been a long battle, you understand, this person has been struggling for a while, you know, it's not a one-time thing, so just maybe what he needed was a trigger at that particular point in time, and it happened, and unfortunately his colleagues had to be the ones to bear the brunt of his transferred aggression. Whatever it is, you know, we always talk about this mental health issues, people being depressed, people having anger issues and whatnot, and these are things that we actually neglect, don't look at, and they fester. And at the end of the day, they culminate in things like this.
Even normally, you have a lot of people, you know, coming into work from home, you know, with angry, you know, angry faces, you know, being angry and all that. And, you know, just being quiet. You don't actually know what that person actually is going through or went through before, you know, coming to the office. But, you know, the good thing is, you know, despite the fact he actually shot his 6 colleagues, there are no reports that any of them died. So they're in the hospital receiving treatment. And, he further actually razed down 2 blocks of 8 rooms in the process and shot his own father-in-law as well.
Okay, these are actually deep-rooted issues,
Yeah.
and I think the serious issues need to be looked at. I mean, like, he has serious mental issues, definitely, for someone to take those kind of drastic actions. I mean, like, if it was 1 or 2 persons, yes, you might say it was a spur of the moment kind of thing, but to actually unleash that level of mayhem, it takes a lot.
Okay, now moving on to entertainment on Daily Trust still, Daily Trust Weekend. And you have Muhammad Jamil, a popular, musician in the north here, is a Hausa singer, a veteran Hausa singer, and he's saying you cannot separate music from politics. Can you separate politics from any other thing? Because I think politics seems to find its way into everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
There is a certain level of politics in everything that you do. In as much as you have more than 1, 2 persons engaged in something, then definitely there's a level of politics there. So it's not surprising to find somebody in the music industry saying that you can't separate music from politics. So it's the same thing. It's actually everywhere. There's a certain level of politics in everything that you do.
And then we also have how politics is tearing Kannywood apart. When it comes to politics, you have, people different people having different factions.
Yeah, and interests as well.
It's not even the party I'm talking about. Even in offices where there's politics, you have different cabals.
Exactly.
And factions.
When you talk about politics, people talk about elections. That's the first place their minds go to. But it's not that. It's not about having political parties. It's not about campaign rallies. It's not about elections or anything like that. There is internal politics in a lot of places. You understand? You have factions. You have aligning interests and opposing interests as well. So that's where the politics actually come in. And everybody is trying to protect his or her own interests.
Definitely.
So that's how it is.
All right, now moving to Trust Sports, we have a story that says Russia-Ukraine face-off impacting negatively on sports.
Yes, well, you have lots of Russian athletes, Russian teams being disqualified from tournaments. Some of these athletes. It doesn't matter what your political leaning is, whether you're with the invasion or not with the invasion. By association, you get disqualified from these things. I mean, like a very big club in the English Premier League now is up for sale because the owner happens to be a Russian and he has very good, strong ties with Putin, and he has to put up his club for sale. You understand, to protect the club from the negative impact of this Russian invasion. So it's affecting everything. It's affecting a lot of things, and sports is not.
You have the different kinds of sports, for example, football, curling, IOC, IPC, tennis, swimming. In fact, swimming governing body actually, called off the World Junior Swimming Championship that was to take place in Kazan, which is a city in Russia. You have ice hockey, you have judo, fencing, taekwondo, rugby's world, our governing body actually banned Russia and Belarus, from all international rugby until further notice. Even badminton is affected, equestrian sports as well,
Yeah, a whole lot of sports. I mean, like motorsports as well. Formula One cancelled the Russian
taekwondo. Yes, World Taekwondo actually said they're stripping Putin of an honorary black belt.
So it's all there. I mean, like, it's affecting all manners of sports, and it's just affecting things negatively, really. And mostly the athletes, that's where the impact actually is. Because for some of these athletes, they probably don't have these political leanings. They're not with the invasion, but they have been affected in one way or the other. And these are people's livelihoods we're talking about.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to a special report. Amid accidents, traffic menaces, roadside markets fester across states, and this is a very, very dangerous, place to actually be selling or buying and selling, roadsides and all that. I remember a particular incident that happened. In fact, 2 incidents. One in Kano, that happened. There was an accident. It's this lady that actually sells bean cake, by the roadside. And I was really, really young then. And then there was an accident that happened. The car hit something, I don't remember. But then the bolt from the tire, it spun really, really fast and hit her son in the head, and that was how this boy died. And then recently, you know, something happened. I don't even know. This is in Kaduna. An accident happened, and a car just cleared off a woman that was selling fruits on the road. Just by the roadside.
Yeah, well,
so it's a very dangerous
lots
place
of
to buy
states
and
are
sell.
actually lots of states are actually battling with that in the cities. You know, having to clear people from the roadside, stop them from selling, because apart from causing traffic blockage and whatnot, these are the kind of things that you just talked about right now. It's a very dangerous place to actually be selling, because you have vehicles passing very, very close to these places, and anything can actually happen. So, for your own safety, for your own protection, it's actually very dangerous for people to actually be there. Unfortunately, when you have situations whereby city officials go to clear these kind of places, then you'll see people taking up arms and saying that it's their livelihood, they have been stopped.
Yes, but you have them actually
families.
saying patronage is actually faster on the roadside.
On the roadside, yes.
Yes, and saying that, you know, they don't have enough money to go into the market or even rent shops
Exactly.
and all that.
And some of for the people that actually patronize these people, it's easier for you to just buy on the road instead of you to go to the market and start looking for it. I mean, like, I want this and I'm seeing it right now on the road. Why don't I just stop and buy? You understand? So they believe it's actually easier for them. But when you look at the risk involved, you know, for both the people selling and of course the people buying as well, apart from the inconvenience to other people, the risk factor involved is also very, very high. So when you look at it, when you do the analysis, it's really not worth it.
Okay, now this feature you're talking about mortuary,
yes,
mortuary attendants.
Yes.
So let's see, we have some writers here. I can't really go through and read everything that's been written, but then we have writers here that says corpses' bizarre behaviors unveiled. Yes. So, you know, it's like corpses actually have minds of their own as well, you know. And then another writer saying sometimes corpses change positions or get missing.
Okay.
Another writer says some people visit mortuaries to request for water used in bathing corpses. I've actually heard, you know, stories about that, you know, really, really disgusting stories about that.
That's just disgusting.
You know, some food vendors coming in to request water, and, you know, it's crazy.
That's just disgusting, and it's just nasty.
It's
that's just the way to describe it. I mean, like,
I just felt nauseous now.
It's just nasty. I mean, like, really. Well, there's some crazy stories actually. There, I really think it's a feature that one would like to.
Yeah, let me just get the story of one Okokon, and he said some corpses can be very stubborn.
Okay.
Yes, his name is Mr. Etim Okokon, a 56-year-old mortuary attendant, and he said he'd been on the job for 25 years.
Yeah, that's a veteran.
Yes, yes. He told Daily Trust Saturday that he had different experiences. You know, he said unpleasant ones, especially, which is, let's say, he said the job of a mortuary attendant had a lot of challenges and, you know, experiences of bizarre activities that could give impressions to people that one is not normal, but not really so, you know. And he says, for those not working here, it is natural that you will develop or harbor some fears and worries about safety. But, you know, there are instances where you encounter stubborn corpses, but we always have ways of taming and communicating with them.
Okay.
I've actually heard stories that when you're entering a mortuary, that you knock first. You knock first to, you know, inform the corpses that you're coming in. And when you're coming in, you come in reverse.
And if somebody answers?
If someone answers, say, I'm coming, you know, you reply back. You reply back, what can you do? Like, really weird stories that I can't actually go into right now, but I will definitely, this will actually make for a good read. So if you're interested in finding out more of what we've discussed, feel free to grab a copy of Daily Trust Saturday. It is, you know, very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And it is just 250 Naira. And I think I saw a story of a blind vendor.
Okay.
Yes, a blind newspaper vendor. Yes, I don't remember what page, but it is somewhere here, you know. And, you know, it's amazing how even those with, you know, some form of disability try as much as they can to, you know, make a living for themselves rather than depend on other people.
Yeah, well, it's all in the mind. You understand? It all depends on your mindset. You know, if you want to go out there and get it, you want to go out there and make it for yourself, no matter what you're going through, you can do that. You can power through. You have the capacity to do that. When you hear stories like this of blind vendors, when you have people with no limbs that are doing manual labor and whatnot, you really get inspired by these people. And then when you see able-bodied people, with no disability whatsoever, begging or on the streets and whatnot, you feel for them and you imagine what kind of mindset does this person have.
In fact, you even have some of them who come out fully dressed,
exactly,
like in the agbada and
well dressed. You understand?
Like
yeah.
it's more or less like a profession for them.
Yes, it's corporate begging.
Corporate.
Yeah, it's corporate begging. You understand? So it's inspiring when you read stories about this, people trying to overcome their disabilities and make something of their lives.
All right, so we'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll just touch on a few more stories, and then we'll introduce our first guest.
I can't be discriminated because, or my children be discriminated because I'm in position of authority. That is the issue. They have a right, to be able to be educated anywhere in the world. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, may further this bill in section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic offends it very strongly, except you amend this section. Then you can be able to say you are bringing this kind of bill to the floor of the National Assembly. For this ground, Mr. Speaker, it offends it completely. It's against the ground norm. It's against the operational compass upon which all laws lay their claims in Nigeria.
It's not maybe because we are public officers, you not see as children schooling abroad. Some have the means, apart from being incumbent. So if you say, because I'm now a member of House of Rep, I should go and withdraw my children from where they are schooling. And our institution here, as he has said, is not in order. Everybody wants the best. Actually, most of us here, I can say, we went to higher institution in this country when the schools were good. So I will want us to look more into how we can improve the federal institutions to help the ASU as they are struggling for the institution to be better.
Is it likely that children schooling overseas is the reason why our educational institutions are not working effectively? We must make a distinction, Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, between hiring competent people who should man offices, who should be responsible, who are acting based on knowledge, as against legislating for things that may not in a real sense cure the problem.
Our language in the flow matters, and we should not be blackmailed, and there shouldn't be blackmail. No, it's the last word you use. The last word. Please, those in favor that the bill be read say aye. Against say nay. The nays have it.
welcome back. Welcome back. Now, we still have a few more stories to touch up on before we introduce our first guest. So we'll start with this particular story on Saturday Punch of a retired AIG saying that policing is dangerous and male cops need prayer warriors as wives.
Definitely. You need all the help you can get.
Every man needs a prayer warrior as
yeah,
a
but
wife.
for the cops, it's actually more difficult because they are actually...
They need protection.
Yes, it's a
Divine
dangerous...
protection.
It's a dangerous thing they're doing, actually, and they're trying to protect lives and property, and they are actually there in the front lines. Yes, every man needs a prayer warrior as a wife because you need all the support you can get. But for the cops, it's actually worse. You know, cops, soldiers, all these
Being
guys
in the front line.
Exactly, it's very tasking for someone to be like that. So you need all the help you can get, really.
Okay, all right. So we also have a story of the actress, Yoruba actress, Mercy Aigbe.
Yeah.
You know, she was married and then she divorced, and now she remarried as a second wife. She was actually married as a second wife back then as well too.
Okay.
Yes, and then I actually saw a video of her, you know, complaining, saying that people are, you know, onto her, attacking her for getting married as a second wife. She doesn't see anything wrong with that. The fact is, she doesn't even, she doesn't really care about, you know, the title. You know, all she knows is that she loves her husband, and besides, she's rich. She has the money. Her children attend school abroad. You know, she has her businesses. She has investments. So, you know, being a second wife isn't an issue. She can actually take care of herself. All she needs is the love of a man, and she found it in her husband. So she doesn't even care if she's second or fourth or whatever.
Left to me, it doesn't matter how much money you have or whether you can do all these things or not. You understand? So if she doesn't want to, if people don't want her to come in as a second wife, so she finds somebody that she loves and she's willing to marry her at that particular point in time, so she say no because people won't like that. These people that are talking are not the ones that are living with this person. It's not their life. They are not the ones. She's not asking anybody to go in as a second wife. If you don't want to go in as a second wife, then don't go. Stay at home. Don't get married. You understand? Lots of people decide not to even get married completely. And it's their life. It's their choice. If she wants to come in as wife number 7, that is her business. So it's really not for people to say, you should marry this, you should not marry that, you should have done this, you shouldn't have done that. It doesn't really make any sense. So she really shouldn't care, no matter what people say. If she's comfortable where she is, she's comfortable with who she's with, and then there's really no problem. I really don't see any reason why anybody should have a problem with what she does with her life.
All right, now still talking about, you know, a marriage and divorce. You know, the divorce rate in Nigeria is very, very high right now. You know, we were talking about it the other day, and nobody can actually seem to pinpoint what the major issue is and why it is difficult for, you know, couples to actually live together despite the odds. Do you get? And then even on Blueprint Weekend today, we actually have Aisha Humaira saying that she doesn't want to fall in love again and she wants a trouble-free life.
Because she believes falling in love is trouble.
And the reason why I picked this up is because this is the way a lot of women actually feel. You go into a relationship with all hopes, and you know it ends up being, you know, a living hell, a living nightmare for you. And then, you know, you get broken. You just get broken, and you don't want to do it again.
So you think men don't go through that?
I'm not saying
men don't get
I'm
broken.
speaking of it's not a competition. You started. It's not a competition.
I'm not competing with you. But you said a lot of women.
I'm speaking from, you know, from other people's experiences. I'm speaking from what I've heard, and I'm speaking from experience as well.
Let's say a lot of people. Can we say a lot of people?
A lot of women. A lot of women.
And a lot of men as well.
Yes. Okay.
Which makes it a lot of people.
All right, a lot of people.
Exactly.
All right. They feel this same way.
Yeah, well,
but mostly the women.
It all depends. It all depends on experiences. It all depends on experiences. It all depends on what you actually went through. Some people are first time lucky. You know, you meet someone for the first time, you fall in love with them, and you click, and you just go and everything is fantastic. For others, you know, you pick this one up, it goes wrong, you go out, you get back up again, get out there, find someone else, it gets ruined, and it's like that. And at one point you just give up.
It reminds me of a meme that I saw yesterday of a lady's really muzzled feet, like really, really big calves. Somebody saying that, this is what happens to your legs when you jump from one relationship
to the other. So that's the thing, you go from this place, and at one point you just say, I'm tired. Yeah, I can't do this anymore. So I'll just get a bunch of cats and stay at home.
Or dogs.
Yeah, and just stay, and I'll be on my own.
Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea of what the issue really is, for this our generation?
Well, there are different circumstances for different people. Some people, when you hear the reason why someone left his particular relationship, some people laugh at it because it's something that will not really touch them if they were the ones in that particular position. And if you listen to what people go through and they stay, in these kind of particular relationships, you actually wonder whether these people are in their right minds. So it all depends.
Talking about domestic abuse, you have a lot of people, a lot of women dying, from domestic abuse. And you have people saying that...
a lot of women and men.
You have people actually saying that it's better for you to come home or leave your husband's house than come back in a coffin.
Or your wife's house.
I'm serious.
Of course I'm serious as well. A lot of men go through domestic abuse. You haven't heard that before? You haven't heard men being beaten up by their wives, being stabbed,
like I said, it's not
kicked,
a competition.
Being kicked. So that's the thing. So when we talk, we generalize. It's a lot of people, not just women. You understand? I'm not saying women don't go through it, but men go through it as well, and they also need to be paid attention to. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm trying so hard to.
You're trying so hard to
get back at you. All right, so let's move on to this other story of a housewife. This is actually also a bizarre story.
No, it's disturbing. It's not really bizarre. It's
disturbing. Yes. How do you know? How do you know which story I'm talking about?
It's borderline disgusting, really.
How do you know which one? I'm talking about Stella Damascus here.
Well, that she's not a housewife.
She isn't?
No.
She's married.
Yes, she's married, but she's not a housewife.
Okay. So I was actually about to talk about the housewife who says she slept with her son to give her husband a child.
Which is borderline disgusting.
How far can people actually go?
That is borderline disgusting, as I just said. I mean, really, it's not something that you should even contemplate. It's not something that you shouldn't think about. It's not something that should cross your mind, no matter how desperate you are.
But you go to some climes and you find mothers marrying their sons. Mothers saying they've trained their sons, and they cannot, stand back to see another lady, reap the fruit of their labor.
Yeah, well, you say some climes, and when you bring it back here, that's just borderline disgusting, really. It's not something that you even think about. It's not something that you usually even talk about. I mean, it's taboo of the highest level. It's really not something that should cross your mind, no matter how desperate you are. There are lines that should not be crossed, and that is a very, very big line that you shouldn't really touch. You really shouldn't touch it.
No. I've actually heard stories of, some mothers or some women, going to sleeping around with probably a family member. So the DNA is actually close or actually matches, and everything. But I've actually never really, it hasn't come close to this. Like, what do you think our punishment should be? Should she be punished?
Well, it's really...
You don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to. I really don't want to. It is disturbing.
It actually is. It actually is. All right, and I think with that, we've come to the end of a newspaper review right here on Daybreak Extra. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will be introducing our guest and talking entertainment, fashion, and style. Do stay.
The idea was to give the interim government confidence that there is somebody, a military man, who is well known, who can be accepted.
You alluded to the case of your son, Umar Farouk. Are you in touch with him?
Yes, he phones us 2 times, sometimes 3 times in a month.
As always, when I'm talking about late Abiola, I still thank my God for directing me on things to do when he gave me that leadership of this country.
Many of you honest Fulanis, you allow this man to cast aspersion on you.
You know, Zamfara is the mother of all bandits.
The biggest problem, if you permit me, is the fact that we have not been able to get the totality of our citizenry.
It's very, very difficult to have a fixed mind like that this one you will hand over to this person because you think you will do better.
I don't see myself under no circumstance ever leaving APC for another political party. Here on the Mambila Plateau. And this is where the hydroelectric power dam is supposed to be constructed.
Most people in Nigeria are ignorant of the fact that employing a child as a maid is in fact against the law.
Access to the textile mill has been very difficult.
I believe or I think that if you want to make money, it should be in a place where there are not plenty of people that can do what you do.
From the way things are happening now, I don't think the two parties will make any impact.
I've been talking about the updates concerning the campaign of Nigerian Super Eagles in Abuja.
Bola Tinubu has informed President Muhammadu Buhari of his ambition to contest for the position of president.
To be self-reliant, a blind man defies all odds to become a carpenter in Gombe State.
The country is now experiencing a fourth wave of the COVID-19 pandemic with the emergence of the Omicron variant.
Talks are ongoing between NRC management and the union.
Welcome back to Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. Well, we did advertise earlier that we were going to be taking something light on the show today to make sure that your weekend is just cool and breezy. And of course, we're talking about entertainment. And of course, who better to talk entertainment with than our own very resident entertainment guru, Rosemary Bassey, right here in the studio. You're welcome back.
Hello,
I mean, like, this
Ibrahim.
used to be our show.
Yes, our show.
So this is like a homecoming for you now.
You and Husseina abandoned me, so...
We didn't.
Yes,
we're always here for you.
We
don't
always
worry.
told you that the door
You're
was
back.
always open.
You're the
Yes.
prodigal daughter. Prodigal daughter. You've returned.
You're going to call me, that's no problem.
Yeah, so welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what's going on? What's the latest on the entertainment scene? I mean, like, lots of things must have been happening, lots of buzz, people fighting each other. So what's the latest?
I mean, so far so good. What's happening or what is in the news right now is the issue of Mercy Aigbe and her current husband
the second wife
his ex-wife, according to her. Then we also have the Timaya alleged hit and run incident. We have Davido flying out his whole crew for his O2 show in London.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that's just about
So
it.
let's talk about this Mercy Aigbe thing. I mean, like, what's so crazy about it? I mean, like, people marry two wives all the time. So what's so different about this one? Why is it creating so much controversy?
Well, I mean, the ex-wife, as she calls herself, she released a statement saying that she and Mercy were friends before Mercy got married to the man. And according to her, or what I felt her pain was that, you know, you bring someone in to your family, into your circle, and then you feel stabbed at the back. Because she's saying, oh, when she planned a surprise party for her birthday, she invited Mercy and Mercy's former husband at the time.
So, you know, was shared as well.
Yeah, so to her, it's like, it's not necessarily that the man married a second wife. It's the fact that
he married
you
Mercy.
married my friend.
Oh, I see.
But then the funny thing is, Mercy hasn't come out to say, oh, this woman isn't my friend, or this woman was my friend. So she's just, you know, in the, what I call it, the gray area. She's just saying, my husband is allowed to marry as many wives as he wants. She's not denying the fact that she's a second wife. She's acknowledged that, oh, there's someone before her in the whole situation.
Now, you also have the former wife, that's the ex-wife, you know, accusing Mercy of, you know, having something to do with her husband since Mercy's son was 5 months. And that will mean, you know, this has actually been happening even when she was married, you know, to her own husband. And, you know, does this actually confirm the fact that the husband accused Mercy of, you know, sleeping around while they were married?
I mean, well, you honestly can't say because we're not sure it might be this man. It could have been someone else. But
or no one at all.
Or no one at all, exactly. You know how these scandals go.
So the backstabbery of the whole situation is what makes it kind of...
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, he's Muslim. He's entitled to 4 wives. After Mercy, I'm very sure in Mercy's mind, if he comes up today and say, oh, I'm going for a 3rd wife, she wouldn't, you know, argue. She herself knows she's second. There's someone above her. There's going to be a 4th wife if possible. So it's not supposed to cause so much drama. But you know, the thing with women, once you steal someone's boyfriend, husband, it's never going to be forgotten. Like, it's a very big scar. Any woman that finds it easy to, forgive that friend and move on with that friendship or accept whatever is happening. She's a very strong one.
So that's if we're operating under the assumption that they were actually
yes,
friends.
true.
Oh, okay. Okay, but we don't have any reason to doubt that, do we?
Okay, now you have the lady has actually, the ex has actually been quiet for a while, even when, you know, they're flaunting their relationship, you know, and, you know, the pre-wedding pictures and all that. But now she's actually come out to say that she's trying to get the record straight, that it's regarding the interview where Mercy said she's rich, so she doesn't really need a man, but, you know, she found love and all that. She's saying the husband should stop painting a perfect picture of a marriage that he clearly doesn't have with you know, the ex. That means, you know, they'd been done for a really, really long time. And the woman is actually blaming Mercy as the cause, saying, you know, she's the side chick. She was a side chick, and she was a problem in their marriage for years. And that was why their marriage, you know, didn't last this long. And now she went and in turn, you know, married her husband. So.
Oh, well, so I guess there are lots of things involved, lots of intricacies there that, well, we actually won't know looking at it from the outside. It's only them that are actually there. It's only right now it's in the spotlight because there's a celebrity involved.
Yeah, definitely. But it happens a lot.
So that's the whole situation. That's the whole situation.
I'm just surprised how the man has been able to stay
out
quiet.
of the limelight.
Yeah. He mustn't just like drama, because I mean at some point you have to find a way to defend yourself.
If you don't like drama, if you don't like drama, then don't marry a celebrity.
So talking about celebrity marriages, you know, you also have Annie Dibia saying she enjoyed her relationship with Two-Face when they were single, you know, and when he wasn't famous yet, because, you know, there's a lot of peace and all that. But now that, you know, he's known, you have a lot of, you know, women, a lot of people sliding into his DM,
and then
you know,
you still
trying
have people throwing opinions, your
fans. Exactly.
So that's the thing. If you don't want that, notoriety, then you should stay away from celebrities. You understand?
But then that's the thing. What if you fall in love with a celebrity?
Well, that's the thing. Then you take what comes with it. You understand?
No, obviously you take what comes with it, but at the same time you're your own person, and whoever you marry is their own person.
because you're going into it with your eyes wide open. You know that this guy is a celebrity or this woman is a celebrity, and I'm going to date this person and I'm going to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, but I'd give you a perfect example. The fact that you're an extrovert doesn't mean if I marry you as an introvert, I'm going to change to an extrovert. I'm just trying to say, even if I marry a celebrity now, I wouldn't always want to be in the limelight. That is his person, that is his job, his career. Do your thing, but you know, I would still try to shelter myself.
You'll try to do that.
Yeah, of course.
But if the spotlight comes on you, then you shouldn't complain, because you actually went there with your eyes wide open.
Complain.
Exactly. You know that this person is a celebrity and these things go along with it.
Yeah.
So you take what comes with it. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so can we move on from celebrity marriages now? I'm glad you didn't hear what I said earlier. You know, so
nobody heard it. You said it yourself.
She did.
you said
All right,
it yourself.
so now there was a wedding party that actually happened, and you know how when you go for a wedding, souvenirs are shared and everything. But it was a very, very thoughtful souvenir, I tell you, and because kegs of
they give a fuel. Exactly. So that's fantastic. I mean, like, that's
kegs
really
of
amazing.
petrol, you know.
I saw the video, and the only thing that came to my mind was, how were they able to get this fuel one? Who is the, will I say, fortunate or unfortunate person that had to stand in the queue and buy? Because
not necessarily. What if they own a petrol station themselves, or they have access? Yes.
Have access
to someone who owns a filling station. Or they own it themselves.
Considering the fact that we are going through a period of fuel scarcity,
well, how they got it is really not the issue.
Well, you are the same person that said something about, you know, me, you know, knowing someone and everything. So what do you mean? What are you saying?
No, that's different. But I'm just saying, fuel as souvenir. Come on, people are.
It's a very thoughtful souvenir because people need fuel for their generators at home.
Not?
People need fuel for their cars in case they came in on red.
Say, now, Rosemary, you're trying to say if you were at that wedding and they gave you that keg of fuel,
I will collect.
You'll feel insulted and say, why are you giving me petrol? I'm not a black marketer. I don't want this.
No. I'm just saying, like, coming from the perspective of people who are queuing and, you know, waiting night and day, because for you to give out fuel as souvenirs, you're getting it in a large quantity.
Yes.
And like you're standing in the same queue that somebody that wants to drive their passenger and make money.
That's why I said it's not necessary that they were actually in a queue. It's possible that they owned, you know, their back gates that you can actually follow.
Yes, I know.
You know that, right?
That's what Rosemary is saying. What Rosemary is saying is it's unfair on those that are standing on the queue for you.
But the thing is, of course, if you give me fuel right now,
they got this fuel. They got this fuel. They got this fuel not for themselves.
For other
exactly.
people.
They give other people. They gave it out. They didn't sell it. You know, they went, it was not accessible,
And it's
they
free.
got it, and they gave
How
this
many
thing
government
out for
officials have
free.
You
done
sound
that?
like you need fuel.
I really need fuel.
You sound like you need fuel.
Everybody
You
needs
wish you
fuel.
were at that event. So that you
I
really-
do.
You know,
I really do.
Everybody needs fuel, so I think it's a good thing. You got this fuel that's scarce, and you're giving it away to people. I feel like it's
It actually doesn't look much, but you know, it looks okay. You know, it's enough. At least for you to take you to take you back home. If you came on red.
Why are you going for an event on red? Not joining.
Oh my goodness. Still talking about fuel, and you talked about black marketers earlier. You know, there's a story of how they call him an illegal petrol, marketer, and his wife were actually killed in fire disaster caused by fuel stored in their home in Jos. Really, really sad one. Really, really sad one indeed.
I think people underestimate how flammable fuel is. Even in Nigeria here, like if you go around, you watch how people leave their fuel kegs under the sun. It's a very, very wrong thing to do. And then because of the scarcity, people are panic buying. You're panic buying, you're not storing it properly. Something is, no one wishes for the worst, but something is bound to happen with that much fuel.
According to this report, apparently the fire erupted from the kitchen where Mr. Pam hoarded petrol at his residence in Zawang community of Jos South local government area of the state.
Now imagine in your kitchen, you probably have gas, you probably have fire.
You do.
Like that's just.
Well, you had to keep it somewhere.
Not in the kitchen.
Not in the kitchen.
Why would you put fuel in your kitchen?
You know how they say if you have fuel now, you're a very rich person? Yes. Back then it was onions, now it's fuel.
But we don't know how
Currency is always
we don't know
changing.
how large his house actually
But
is.
it actually cost him his life.
But I'm pretty sure you could just keep it outside.
So for someone to steal it?
Or in the bathroom.
In
the bathroom.
If you didn't have one?
Come on, you can't put fuel in the one place you know you're going to.
If it is a shared bathroom, I mean, like he has a compound and he shares it with like dozens of other people, and he goes and keeps his fuel there and somebody steals it.
Okay,
Why
Ibrahim,
would you even
I believe
store,
he has a
why
parlor
would you
or he has a
even
room.
store fuel in the first place?
Because it's scarce, and he found it, and he wants to keep it.
This is a sad event.
It is sad, really, but very seriously. I mean, like the kitchen is somewhere that you should not even think about it. You really shouldn't really think about keeping fuel there. I mean, like it's just a recipe for disaster, and it's unfortunate that it actually happened like that. But it's also an eye opener for other people. You know, yes, fuel is scarce. If you get it and you want to keep it, don't keep it in your kitchen. Keep it somewhere else. You understand?
You know the sad thing now is they left behind a 4-month-old baby, and apparently when the wife was actually outside, the husband was sleeping and she was outside, and then she saw smoke coming out of the house, and she went in to save her husband. That was where she died.
No, this story is getting more and more depressing.
Yes, it is. It actually is
getting more and more
depressing.
depressing.
Really
Well,
sad.
I do
And
hope
for the
people
past couple of months, there's been stories of a whole family dying in fire disasters and everything.
I mean, we had one in this paper, the woman who I think had 3 children.
Her 3 children died, and then another lady whose husband actually died earlier, and then 6 family members just went at once. Like.
Well, I thought we were supposed to be talking about entertainment. This is a downer.
It's an entertainment too. It's still part of what's happening.
The funny part is like keeping the fuel in the kitchen.
Yes, that is the part that we should really should discourage things like that. There was a story about a hit and run that we were talking about earlier. That Timaya actually, yes.
Well, so a lady came out on Instagram, posted pictures, videos of her sister saying her sister was hit by Timaya and she tried to contact him, but he blocked her. Then there was another video of him being interrogated by the police. He was carried away. And then he released a statement saying he was chased by 4 men. If I'm being honest, nothing is corresponding because the girl says Timaya hit her sister's car.
Okay.
So I don't. You're being chased by 4 men in a car on the road. How are you running away from them that you hit someone else? Okay, let's even acknowledge the fact that you were being chased. The lady said she reached out to you that in the process of you being chased, you hit my sister. So come on.
So how is she
reimburse
sure? How is
hospital.
she sure that it was Timaya that actually hit her?
Maybe the sister has given her gist now. Because you won't just wake up and want to point fingers at his keyword celebrity.
No, people actually do that a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to have like some form of evidence or backup to support your story. And for Timaya to block her, I feel like that's the last thing he should have done, because it shows some level of guilt.
Yes, he probably felt he was trying to be swindled or something.
Exactly. We don't know the context of
But
what
I don't
engagement
think
they
you
actually
should
had.
block her. I mean, these people have personnel that can handle such things for them. Reach out to the girl or send an email saying, oh, you don't want to, defamation of character, things like that. You can sort it out. But if you message me and I block you, the first thing that will come to my mind is I'm running away from something. Whether or not I am truly innocent, I would at least find a way to still reach out to you. But blocking you at a go.
Well, he did say that he was being chased by a couple of...
after.
Yes, he
That
was being
was
chased. So now let's operate under the assumption that he was being chased. How sure is he that she's not in on it?
Question.
It's okay.
I'm sorry,
it's a question. How sure is he that she's not in on it?
No, we're not doing anything. That's just a question.
We're looking at it from both
different
angles here. You understand?
She's not the one that got hit. Her sister.
Yes.
Yes, it's the sister that he's talking about.
How is he not sure that the sister
I'm
was not
sorry,
in on
but
it?
if I were to be part of any
Okay,
plan,
so if
I don't see myself as the person ending up in the hospital.
Okay, so was the sister right in front of him when he hit her, and she swirled, or she was beside, and
she's
he
saying that the
he
sister
brushed.
that he hit the car. So I don't know if it was
he
like
hit
an
the sister's
automobile
car.
accident. Yes.
So
the car she was in.
Yeah.
It could be.
It's possible.
The car was blocking him from
running
escaping.
away.
Exactly, from escaping from those dudes that were following him. And
So what
was
if there were
in on it.
assassins, coming after him, and then because there was a car there and he was actually seen an escape route, no matter how narrow it was, for him to, hit the car and then move. Do you get? What if the car was, in the middle of the road and he couldn't move and he had to stop and these people came out and shot him there and then?
I'm not in a position to judge, but say, for example, I'm Timaya and Husseina's explanation. If I have to hit your car to escape from people trying to kill me, and I know I hit your car, that's a fact. Someone reaches out to me and say, oh, you hit my sister earlier on, she's in the hospital, this, that. I wouldn't block you. I'm very sure Timaya has like a whole PR team. He would explain to them, oh, this happened earlier in the day, happened last week, in the week. Please reach out to this person, whatever needs to be done. Hospital funds, you are where you hit somebody, true or false. You're not taking that away. So there's no point for the back and forth. But then you are blocking me. Why are you blocking me?
Well, it all depends. We don't know what she said to him. Do you know what she said to him?
Well, no.
So that's the thing. We don't know what the context of the... Well, anyway, I'm not saying that people should hit people and run away and not justifying whatever it is. Well, all I'm saying is that we should look at it from all angles, from different perspectives. There's always two sides. You understand?
Of course,
so
there's always
he has his reasons.
My only concern in the whole situation is the fact that he blocked her. Because, you see, we're human beings and the way we think, it's different, but it's also very similar. It's just the same way somebody that is owing you money, when you message them, they block you. Or somebody asks you for something and you block them. It just shows some level of guilt or interest.
If someone insults you and attacks you, you block that person as well.
But according to her, she said she reached out that her sister was in the hospital.
She reached out, but how did she reach out to him?
All right, let's move on to, something in the abroad.
Yeah, please.
Talking about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, it mustn't have been funny. Kim Kardashian is now single, and this is like her third husband, yeah?
Third husband,
yes, third husband, right? And Kanye West is definitely not taking it easy at all. And she dropped the name West on all her social media platforms. And if she did that, then it means she actually dropped the name on her.
She's
legally
been declared
as well.
legally single.
Yes.
She's dropped the surname West.
So I don't know. we talked about divorces a bit.
I'm heartbroken for Kanye right now.
Me
really.
too. I'm such a
like,
big Kanye
Well, he
fan.
actually seemed to have moved on since, because he's dating this particular, what's her name, Megan Fox, not
Julia Fox.
Julia Fox.
And I'm
yes,
sorry,
not
but
yet.
that relationship has sailed.
It has?
Yes.
But she's still coming on social media. I think she's as crazy as, I don't know. Well, she's still coming on social media saying, he's the best relationship she's ever had.
Yeah, I mean,
she loves
just
him
letting
and
people
all
know
that.
the fact that people get together, and I'm just speaking, I'm not sure this is what is in her mind, but she's probably just trying to, give the scenario that the fact people get together and separate doesn't mean, things have ended in
They can still be friends
yeah,
and all
they can
that.
still be friends, because if we want to check it through the whole divorce process, Kanye West has been with like 3 different people. There was some model he was seeing before Julia Fox, and now he's with someone else. And I think the person he's even with currently, people tagged her to be a Kim Kardashian lookalike, because the picture of 2 of them together, she looked exactly like Kim, dressed like Kim.
But Kim Kardashian has like her own. There's a way they can actually do a makeup on you and you look like Kim Kardashian.
You don't even need to do makeup, just dress like her and wear certain type of shades
hair,
and wig.
and
look
certain type of makeup as well.
You look like her.
But yes, but let's not digress from the issue. The issue right now is Kanye.
Uh-uh.
That's
I mean, I do feel bad for Kanye.
Exactly, we need to feel for Kanye.
I used to be an ardent lover of Keeping Up. And I've watched them, Kanye is so in love with Kim.
He actually has his biopic out, that, right?
Jesus.
Yes,
Jesus.
Yes. So, he loves Kim. He likes to dress her up. He likes to travel with her.
I'm watching it.
I don't believe you. Okay, you will watch it.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
okay.
I'll be
so,
watching
I'm pretty sure the divorce is hard. It's hard for him.
Yeah, it is.
Having to see him overreact on Instagram and the way he's been,
and he was actually complaining that she hasn't allowed him see the children and everything.
Yeah,
that's just me.
But I mean, to be honest, if your husband was acting out on social media, do you think you'd let him come close to
But she was the reason why he was acting out.
If she had allowed him see him in the first place,
she's the reason why he was acting out.
If she had allowed him see them in the first place, he wouldn't act out.
No, but personally, Kim has complained of Kanye's behavioral problems.
But she knew about that before she married him.
Everybody knew Kanye was unstable.
Yes, we all knew.
Was he?
Even me in Nigeria, I know.
Of course he
Yes,
was. Everybody
knew.
When
he didn't seem unstable.
He was going on stage and the Grammys and shouting lots of crazy things when he was saying
before they were even friends. We all knew.
When you were saying black people are always played the victims of slavery and they should move on. I mean, like, you didn't see that.
She knew what she signed up for.
You didn't see that.
And when he got married to her, we're actually really excited. Oh, at least he has found someone who can take his madness.
And now she has broken him.
Come on.
And now she has broken him. She has broken Kanye. She has broken Kanye for us.
She actually has. He's
but
a genius.
You know what they say about the Kardashian curse too. You also have to put that into respect.
Kanye is a musical genius. He's a musical genius. We just hope that he comes back. I think he should just.
I mean, if you
give us another
go
album.
back in time and check through people who have creative minds, they often suffer some form of mental setback. It's just normal. You have so much going on in your head. Like you can't just put one and one together. So I do feel
Kanye should come out with a new album.
Done that too, but I mean you have to download
because
his,
we actually
his
feel sorry for him more because it's his first marriage and we really thought it was going to last. I did
I mean
think
we
so.
always think so many things are going to last, aren't we?
All right, so let's move on to a story of 3 Nigerian students and a woman who were arrested for smuggling drugs in North Cyprus. And, they actually smuggled the drug inside pepper, hot, red pepper, atarodo.
Yeah, so
as in they opened the pepper.
It was inside the pepper. Yes,
the drugs, and then they closed it back. People are smart. You can't take it away from people. People are very, very creative.
That will throw off the dogs as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand. That will throw off the dogs.
How do you put drugs in pepper? I want it. This is not bottle that you say you seal it back.
No, but it's actually sealed. You understand, covered and everything. So you just put it in. Like if you had like a black bag of pepper, like it's quite much. You put it in.
Unfortunately, they were not that smart since they got caught. Really?
True.
They were really not
True.
that smart. They were not as smart as they thought they were since they got caught.
I mean, I'm still trying to imagine how hot the drugs will be when you bring it out.
No, it all depends. It all depends on how
already.
it's
It
packed.
actually
It all depends on how
sealed.
it was
It's sealed
packed.
already.
You understand? It all depends on how it was actually packed, you know? Lots of people do crazy things when it comes to
Yeah.
smuggling drugs, you know?
A whole lot of people
Yeah,
do
swallowing
crazy
it is
things.
really not the craziest thing that you'll find out right now.
I
So-
think swallowing is the easiest.
Exactly.
It's
It's
the
not
easiest for them.
There was a time where swallowing drugs was like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
But now there are lots of other nasty
Other-
stuff out there, and it's terrible.
All right, so just before we go, right, there's this thing that has actually been trending online, and a lot of people are mad, especially you know how when something happens to one broadcaster or one broadcaster, whether it's radio or TV, and a whole lot of them flock, either to support
Yes.
or to go against. So apparently yesterday on Arise TV. Yes, Ruben Ebati, introduced a reporter that was, on ground when the Ukrainians came in. When the Nigerians from Ukraine came in, and while she was talking to him, she kept calling him, because you know how it is when you're trying to connect from the studio to the streets, and everything, and. She kept calling him Ruben, Ruben, and Ruben and Ruben. And then in the end, after they were done with the report, he called her, he said, mannerless young people. So a lot of, broadcasters came out, supporting the reporter, saying what she did was the right thing because she's being professional. You can't come on air and be calling, just because you're older, you're calling them honorable chief or Mr.
Chairman.
This thing with I've noticed with Africans,
Yeah.
we
love
love
respect so much. And sometimes even the reporters, they actually feel guilty calling you by your name.
Yes, that's how
because
it's supposed to
do you
be.
get
I mean,
what I'm
like,
saying?
yeah.
But it's work. Do you
that's
get?
the
It's
thing.
work.
So,
So you need to be able to separate.
No, like growing up, you've always been given that mindset that people that are older than you must always add sir or ma. Or auntie. You must just find one nice, polite title before.
Yeah, and we make that
even
mistake a
it
lot
goes
as
down
well.
to secondary schools where you're calling somebody
Senior.
this. Why don't they call you junior? Like, I'm just saying, like, every junior above a junior should be calling that person junior. It doesn't.
I've been trying to get Dashan to call me Senior Ibrahim for a very long time.
Senior Ibrahim, what makes you a senior?
She hasn't been doing it.
His grey hair.
She hasn't been doing it.
Grey beard.
Yes, my grey beards. They
Your
look
grey
nice.
beard.
They look nice on me.
Senior Ibrahim. SNR.
I don't even have his time. He knows that. He already knows that.
No, we just love so much respect.
Yeah, definitely, And then him, I think I would say it's a slip of tongue because he shouldn't have actually said that on air.
He shouldn't
have, called, because he attributed it to, every other young person, saying mannerless young people. Yes. Apparently, yeah.
They don't like young people in this country. It's either we are unemployed or we are mannerless or we're just doing. We never seem to do something right.
That's for you young people to decide for yourselves.
I'm sorry, Senior Ibrahim.
Yes, that's for you young people. You young people have a way of looking at things that are quite different from the way we see it. Yes, exactly.
The older generation, of course.
We are elders.
All right, so on a final note, a UniJOS student, University of Jos student, committed suicide. Yes, we do not know why. We thought, the era of students committing suicide is actually gone. But this guy actually left a note before, he took his own life. And he said, "Goodbye, I love you all. See you on the other side of the world till we part no more." I know most students in the past who have actually done this. It's due to one issue or the other in their academics, lecturers who do not want to see them, move forward and everything, and the frustration and all that, not being able to handle it. But may his soul rest in peace.
The thing is, I always tell people that you have to forgive people that commit suicide because it's not easy to take
your own
life. The amount of stress and pressure you are under to reach that point, people shouldn't be angry or say why. Like, just pray for that person to find peace. Because at the end of the day, life is filled with both good and bad. You can't just have just one side of it. Even if you think your life is so terrible, in your quiet moments, you can sit down and pick out, moments that are dear to you, moments that you can say were good, were memorable. So when somebody goes to an extent to take their life, it's very, very sad. It's very sad.
All right, I think with that we've come to the end of this particular discussion. Thank you so much, Rosemary, for gracing us with your beautiful presence.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope you would come
the
in
door
some
is
other
open.
time. Okay, all right, fantastic.
Don't close the door.
No, it's not closed. It's always open for you. You know that. Okay, Ibrahim.
Senior Ibrahim.
Yes, Rosemary.
Senior Ibrahim.
It was nice having you.
It was nice to meet you.
Yes, it did, because this is our show. And the show misses you.
I miss it too. Don't worry, I'll be here more often.
Yeah, we hope that. We hope that happens. All right, it's still Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the show continues right after this.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Okay, as you can tell from my face, we're having so much fun in the studio. So, welcome back. We're at the last phase of Daybreak Extra today, and we have a guest in the studio. He's a musician, and all the way from Kefi, you know, he graced us with his presence. His name is Lexus Woods. Good morning, Lexus, and welcome to Daybreak Extra.
Good morning. Nice meeting you. Good morning.
All right, so I'm actually kind of curious. Why the name Lexus Woods?
Lexus
it sounds
Woods.
really foreign.
Yeah, because I like foreign things normally, and the name was given to me by a fan, somebody that just loved my song. But then by that time I hadn't gotten the name, so the girl was like, "Wow, you are so good."
Oh, it was a girl.
Yeah, you are so good, and you deserve the name something dope, something foreign. I said, okay, let her give me something. She now said Lexus. So the Woods, I just added it.
Okay.
So do you have an idea what that name means? Or it's just because, you know, a fan gave to you? And
Yeah, to me, because when I hear the name, it gives me peace of mind. So to me, Lexus is peace of mind.
Okay.
So what kind of music do you do?
I do Afro and dancehall with a touch of Amapiano.
Okay.
So, you know, something for, you know, the dancers. If you
Yeah.
love to dance, piano is, you know, the way for you. All right, so when did you start music?
I started 2017.
Okay, and what inspired you into going into music? How did it start for you?
Seriously, I just loved it right from time. Because when I was small, my mom used to be putting Zulezu. So their lifestyle, everything, I would be like following them. So from there, I just picked up. So, but when I started was 2017. That was when I started meeting people in the game.
Oh, in the game?
Yeah.
And they kind of like, you know, supported you and pushed you to...
No, it's not the support though, but their vibe pushed me in it because the vibe was not dulling. The vibe was with fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you write your own songs?
Yes.
And you produce them as well?
No, I'm not a producer though.
Okay.
But I have a producer.
How do the ideas come about? Like, how do you, you know, is it when you're sleeping, or how do you even, you know, how many songs do you have, and how do the ideas come about?
I have much songs. My ideas do come with different kind of feelings. Most of the times I can...
Okay, depends on your mood.
Yes, most of the times it can be something passing. There was one time I felt a pain, and that was when I got my song Cruise.
A pain where?
In my chest. So the thing was like, nobody was me again. I was like, look at my friends, everybody is not there. So I now brought a song titled Cruise. Man, I come from the street that is full of fake life because nobody was there again. My chest was paining me.
Okay, so all your friends had deserted you then? And
no, it's not like that, but the way they were now, I didn't see them again. Okay. I was now feeling the pain alone. So I just said, okay, maybe this is how the life is going to be. One day you'll be alone.
So I get it. So are you like are you a singles artist? Do you have like a group? Do you have like a crew?
A band?
Yeah. I have a crew.
Okay.
Yes.
What do
Which
they
is
comprise
Dope
of?
Entertainment.
Dope.
Yes, Dope Global Entertainment.
Okay.
That's a crew.
So do you have like an album out?
Yeah, we have an album. The album is titled Lion. We dropped it last year.
Lion.
This year January.
Okay.
Yes.
How many tracks?
5 tracks.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what is that particular album about, and why the name Lion?
Lion. Okay, Lion means Lexus in our nation. That's the main meaning of Lion. So and the Lion, what brought about the Lion was because everybody was dropping EP. Every of my friends was dropping EP that time. So everybody would give a title. So me as I now came, I said, okay, let me drop something that is big and different. Let me give a different name, Lion.
Okay.
So with the name alone, anybody that hears the name will be like, what's in this song? What's in this song? So by the grace of God now, my EP is up to 10K plus downloads.
Okay.
On what platform?
Audiomack.
Nice.
So do you like do live shows and whatnot?
Yeah, I like going to live shows most of the times. It's just that I don't have the opportunity. I love live band.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like performing in front of a crowd?
Yes.
Oh,
very
okay.
well.
So you don't have the opportunity. I don't understand what you mean by that. I mean, like you have an agent, don't you? You have a manager.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So isn't his job to actually look for these kind of things for you?
Yeah, it's his job, but I've not seen one yet.
Okay.
But I promise, any day I'll climb on a live band, I'll deliver by the grace of God.
Okay, so you haven't really performed in front of a live audience before?
Yes. No, I've performed in front of people, many people, but not live.
Oh, okay.
Just my song.
Okay.
Background.
Oh, I see.
Okay, but I think that's kind of like the same thing, yeah?
It is almost like the same thing.
yeah.
Well, I mean, like
You
performing live.
lip-synced.
Yeah, he lip-synced
Yes,
to his
you
own song.
lip-synced to your own song.
Yes, which is
Okay.
something that I personally don't encourage that. I mean, like lip syncing your own song is really not. I mean, like we used to do
They
that.
do
It's
that
like
a lot. Even most of the superstars
Yes,
do that too.
they do that. But I mean, like when a person pays to go and watch a live show, I mean, like I really want to see you put the work into it, so that you can actually sing your own
Like
song.
Beyonce.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some. Yes.
All right, so
yeah.
now you're based in Kefi, right? That's in
Yes,
Nasarawa
yeah.
State. What is the music or entertainment, scene like there? Because I know it has to be, different from Abuja here.
Yeah, I don't take the environment. Most of the time when I'm rehearsing, I even forget I'm even in a particular area. I just feel as if I'm in another place, another location, why this kind of song is coming out. It's when I come out and then...
Okay, for example, if you want to sing, what's the title of one of your songs?
Positive Vibe.
So where did you imagine you were when you thought about Positive Vibe actually came to your head?
Positive Vibe, I was in the kitchen. So I was making something good. Something that would make me feel alright. So the vibe was positive. Alone at home, that was a very positive vibe. So I was now using the spoon and knife to make a beat. Get a positive vibe, sing a good vibe. After the stress, make you only one time. So all those things now came out. So it was in the kitchen, the positive vibe came out.
You actually sang 2 songs now, and they actually sound like a fusion of, reggae.
Yeah, well, he did say he
said,
did dance hall.
So you do dance hall. So do you do more dance hall than Afro beats?
I love dance hall very well.
Which comes to you easily?
Dance hall. Dance hall. Afrobeat is just, to me, it's simple. So, but that dance hall is kind of hard. So anytime I'm on the dance hall beat, I feel, this is something that is for kings.
So what about how commercially how successful has it been? You said you started this in 2017. So how commercially successful has it been? Has it been easy for you to market your stuff?
It's not easy though, but I will not say anything bad because God has been faithful. God has been doing His works. Because as of 2017, I used to be begging for shows. But now it's not that I've gone far, but now I get calls that you are performing in so place, so deal. So only that I just thank God for the.
And do you get paid for these performances?
It's not all the time I get paid.
Okay,
sometimes I just go there to showcase myself.
Okay, so now where do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
The next 3 years. I see myself with whiskey. By then, by the grace of God, though, it's not man's power, it's God's power. So I see myself making bigger albums and creating bigger videos and hosting tours that will shake the world.
Well, have you, because for you to actually see yourself or imagine yourself there, you need to, make an effort and you need to take steps. Have you started, the process of, making that effort or, being in those bigger shows or having collaborations with bigger artists?
Yeah, I've been trying my best. Want to work with, by the grace of God, maybe Lil J or Olamide by the grace of God.
Okay.
So just working towards that gradually.
All right, so any final questions before?
It's actually good.
Okay, all right. So, yes, right now we know you're still up and coming and, you're still hustling. So what advice or what final words do you have for, our other artists in your shoes?
Okay. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy out there, seriously, because sometimes I feel like giving up, but giving up is not in my diary, so I don't talk about that most of the time. My own is that what I'm going to say to other artists out there, it's not only artists, even actor, anything you're doing, please don't give up, because when you give up, you are already showing God that you're not strong. You're already showing God that you're a coward. But if you're not giving up, you are pushing. Seriously, you won't even know how. Seriously, like now, I don't even know how my fans came about. My fans were so low, but to God be the glory.
Okay.
So please don't stop.
All right, so now before we leave, yes, I would like you to, freestyle for us a bit. And what song would you want to sing for us now?
Okay, it's a freestyle.
Okay, freestyle. Okay, I'll sing any of it. Sing anyone.
Okay. Oh no, my, I'm feeling so Levi. Call your mom and daddy, come down, school my body. Share you, no they whine me, make me lose my mind. Something for this body, baby, oh my mommy, party they go. Nobody holy, yeah, you should know. Say no be nothing, dancing alongside daddy and mommy, not on Molly, but just me, I'm happy.
She's almost standing up. She's almost standing up.
He has the voice, he has the voice, and the song makes a lot of sense. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, by the way. Thank you so much for being here in the studio with us, Lexus Woods, okay? Hopefully when you've, upgraded or, you've become better, or you've had a lot more opportunities, we'll bring you back in the studio and then you get to share experiences with us. All right, so with that, we've come to the end of Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. Thank you so much, guys, for, tuning in. We'll be back again next week, Saturday. Ibrahim is not a music person at all, but, I'm Dashen Husseina Usman. See you next week.
Well, this was an entertainment bonanza, I can say, all right, here on Daybreak Extra. So we had a lot of fun, and we hope you did too, watching us out there. So let's do this all again next week. I'm Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for staying with us.